We are on the set of Revelation Blue, day one of shooting with actors Nicholas Torrance and Samantha Wishnia. How you guys doing?
Doing great, doing great. Hoping this rain clears up a little bit so we can get started.
Okay, great. Tell us a little bit about your characters and what you're doing here today.
My character, my name is Nicholas Torrance. By the way, I'm playing Devin Blue, who is the lead in Revelation. And Devin is a pastor, or a former pastor, that left the church to become a detective. And the story, basically the story revolves around him and his relationship, also with a very close friend who's kind of a mentor and looks out for, Annie, who Samantha plays. And what it really does is kind of delve into his struggle of leaving the pastorhood and becoming a detective and kind of entering mainstream society, and his struggles with realizing he's lived his whole life and he will continue to live his whole life having faith and living by God's morals and principles, but realizing how far society, in many ways in his opinion, has strayed from that. And I think a lot of, I really love the script and the idea, because I think every one of us has struggles of what you have faith and passion for and what you want to do in your life, and then also what society, the pressures that they put on you. And I think what this series is going to be about is really all about faith.
I think faith is definitely a big part of it, because my character, Annie Stevens, seems to depend on Devin Blue, because when he was the pastor at the church, they had a close friendship, which they have maintained, but his role as a pastor was kind of what confirmed her faith for her. And now that he's gone, and now that he's not in that position anymore, she finds herself wavering and struggling. And she encounters internal battles that deal with almost prophetic visions coming from inside of her. And she doesn't know whether or not this is something important, or that she's crazy. And I think Devin Blue is a very important role model for her. And he affirms that she still is a person, and he affirms that maybe whatever she is hearing or whatever she is experiencing may have some legitimacy. And I think she really struggles with her sense of self. Like, at first glance, she seems like a normal kid, but she's probably had many formative experiences that have made her into who she is, and she seems like the kind of person who needs someone as her rock. And that's why she struggles with Devin Blue's sort of new position in society, and it affects her, and it affects the choices that she will make. So it is about balancing faith with self-awareness and making the right decisions, and how other people can really determine that for you.
Devin is a very, very cool, calm, and collected character, and confident. But just like any other human being, deep down, he obviously has his fears a little bit of, he felt a calling to leave the pastorhood and become a detective. And he knows that there's some sort of spiritual or higher being that's guiding him towards something. He doesn't know what that is yet. And so you'll see throughout the series and the story, that he tries to reaffirm when Annie comes to him and shows how upset she is at his decision. He really is firm in saying, this is what I'm doing now. And almost without saying it, he wants to say, look, I'm scared too, but this is what I have to do. But I am still here for you. And learn from this, because in life, when you grow up and as you go through life, you're going to be faced with these same decisions where you just know you need to do something. You don't know why, and you know it's going to be extremely difficult. But that's the true test that makes people who they are in this world.
How do you think you guys play off of each other? What's the importance of playing off each other?
Go ahead.
First of all, I think in previous series, Onyx, we did play brother and sister. He was my older brother. The dynamic was different in the sense that you were making destructive decisions as that character, and I was silently concerned until a certain point. But because of that dynamic, I mean, and it is a very similar dynamic that we have with these two characters, because he is sort of a support figure for her. And I think that having that established, we can really act out that kind of relationship, because in a way, like brother and sister, they do depend on each other. Even Devin, as the older and supposedly, more mature and more sure character, still gets something from Annie, because Annie has struggles of her own. And the beautiful thing is that they learn from each other's struggles. I think that Devin Blue's his progression and his sort of transformation to being a cop exposes his own fear and his own humanity, which in a way confirms faith for Annie, because she sees that even someone who is deeply afraid and deeply challenged in every possible way in life can still maintain that faith. I think that's what they gain from each other.
No, absolutely. And like Samantha said, the role that we played in Onyx was, I was an older brother, but she was almost more of a rock to me in the role that I played. Not that I saw her in that way because I was such a distraught character, but this is kind of a reversal of that way, where we still have that same relationship, as you said. It's a closeness, and we learn from each other, and it's almost like a brother or sister. This is a fatherly role, but it's kind of switched where I'm now, the more, I guess, grounded or saner authority that can, kind of provide guidance. But it's, I'm really looking forward to it. I think it's going to be amazing. It's going to be an amazing experience, and I think working with Samantha is going to really show through a lot of this chemistry. We're going to enjoy it, do an amazing job as we can at it. Just love it.
How did you guys get started in acting?
Well, I've been acting professionally, I guess, since I was about 8. I guess my mom says, well, that's now we know why she's such a weird kid, because I was always kind of an attention-craving ham in a way. Like, I would always do crazy things and put on little plays for my family, but I actually met Tony a while back at the Wilma Theater doing a show there. So, but in recent years I've gotten into independent film and just independent series like this one. And right now that's really what I'm focused on. It's not about moving up or gaining some kind of publicity or anything. I think it's just about putting yourself into it and learning about yourself and about other people through acting. So for me right now, it's more of like a personal and social experiment. And I understand that you had a later start, but like,
yeah.
I wouldn't have known that.
No, thank you so much. I mean, I didn't get started in acting until I was about 20 or 21, but that's still been 11 years at this point. Goodness. And my background is primarily film and television, and I used to do a little bit of stand-up comedy as well, and some stage, but that wasn't really kind of my pedigree. But and bringing to this role kind of what this show's about is really extremely relevant to me personally, as far as the whole acting. Pursuing acting is something that you love, and it's something that's extremely difficult, and a lot of times can be a struggle financially, because against what society will tell you should do in other ways. And I've experienced that over the past decade since I've been doing acting, where I've done what I've had to do to stray from it and come back. And what I've always learned is anything I've ever done, I've always ended up coming back to this. And things have a funny way in life, or they have, at least for me, of happening that seem to be out of my control that lead me back to this. So, just like Devin Blue's character, whenever there's times in my life where you say this is a struggle, or for whatever reason I need to put this aside for a while and focus on this, or I need to stop this, what am I doing? The powers that be kind of come by and push you and keep going, and then you start to realize there's a reason you're doing this. But like what Annie said, what Samantha said, and to start at such a young age is amazing, because acting is it's really only so powerful when the actor themselves has a true experience and learns about themselves, because that's what translates to the movie audience. So you always have to keep sight of that, and that's what keeps driving me back to acting. Like you said, you can do it for the accolades and the fame and all those things, but unless you're extremely lucky or fall into something quickly, and even if that happens down the road, Just like anything else in life, what it's going to come down to is what truly lights you up inside. So it's that part of it that has to truly light you up inside as an actor. And it's only that part of it that's going to truly touch and move an audience, whether it's stage or whether it's film or TV.
And in closing, what do you feel that the viewer will get from watching Revelation Blue?
The biggest message that I think we'd love to get out, and I know I'd love to get out, is to show people the struggles that everyone goes through in their life, and that's the key to any good story that's well crafted or well written. It doesn't matter the specific situation or job someone has, to show that when times are extremely difficult in your life, having faith and having strength to see through those times and stick with what you love or what you truly feel is what every person at some point along their life, and usually through their whole life, struggles with. And so what I want, the message that I'd love to get out to people is for them to see this and to relate, whether or not they can relate to the specific characters, to relate to the intrinsic qualities as human beings that they're going through, how they're reacting to it, and how that applies to them in their life, and for it to inspire them.
The story really does play out examples of people being introspective and inquisitive inquisitive spiritually in the midst of very overwhelming circumstances. And I think no matter what your faith is, no matter what you believe, we are exemplifying how one can hold on to that no matter what is happening. And I think that should be a message of hope to all people, and a message that you can willingly bring your life in a more positive direction, and it helps to have positive influences around. So I think it really is all-encompassing in that sense, and it doesn't have to be aimed at only one religious demographic or one cultural demographic. I think that everybody can relate to this struggle, because it's a very diverse struggle, and it can speak to the human spirit in so many more ways than it seems on the surface.
I want to thank you both, Nicholas Torrance and Samantha Wishnia, on the set of Revelation Blue, Day 1. Thank you so much.
Thank you.